All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I am fantastic. Had a wonderful weekend. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, my friend. Had a great weekend and cannot complain. Glad to be back here on this Monday morning for the markets. But man, weekend was good. Weekend was good. All right, let's get to it. Peter, latest and greatest overall. How's the market this morning? What's happening there?
Not much, let me tell you. We really
Yeah.
have no economic events scheduled for today, so nothing of note that we want to talk about. There's always some minor things, but nothing important. Internationally, it's been fairly quiet. Probably the biggest thing in the headlines is really the Chinese economy continues to falter. In fact, one of their largest asset fund managers, Zhongji Enterprises, failed to meet some trust payments. I think it was late last week, and that's got people a little concerned, right, that they're not paying out as promised. There's that concern overall on the strength of the Chinese market. We're seeing reflected in some areas, such as some international currency prices and the price of oil, which has dropped a little bit this morning. A little bit of a mixed bag in terms of the different countries around the world. We got a few, like the European markets seem to be up marginally. The Nikkei, the Japanese market, is down about 1%. And like I mentioned, oil and some other commodities are down. So, not much happening this morning. A little bit of, bopping around. We're going to wait and see what comes up in our scanners. From an earnings, there was a lot of earnings this morning, but nothing that I typically watch. So tons of companies, but they're all sort of second and third tier companies that generally don't meet the criteria for good trading activities. So we may be back to the old standby, but you know what? These days are not bad. There's always stuff to watch. And like I've said many a time, I actually like these days because I can just watch my bucket of stocks. I can watch the gappers. And you wait for what pops up, and if you're patient, you can actually get some really good trading opportunities. So we'll see what we can help you identify here this morning, and see what we can get ready for the market. But if we don't find much, don't worry about it. The market always provides. It is a cornucopia of opportunities. We just need to be patient.
Absolutely. And if it doesn't provide it today, it will provide it tomorrow. So again, just be very patient with that. Let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. We got a couple of things in the green. As you mentioned, same here. There's tons of earnings today. Many companies I do not like. I know we have a big retail reporting week with the big guys, Walmart and Target, reporting later this week, their earnings. So we'll see how that plays out. But man, today, not really a lot going on. Right now on a gap up list, got a couple gapping down. We have Chinese EV vehicles. We have NIO, XPEV leading the way here. We have Tesla down as well. Not a Chinese vehicle, obviously, but we have a Rivian also here. So again, a lot on there this morning with the EV side, not looking so hot. We'll see what's happening there in a couple of minutes. So let's
It
dive
is
in.
the Chinese vehicles of Tesla that are causing it to slide, though.
Yeah, so they're cutting prices again or something like that. I mean, just the
Yeah.
whole issue there. It's
Well,
not good.
and this is the price war we've been talking about for a while, right? Started by some of the Chinese competitors, and Tesla's just cutting their cost, or their price, I should say, to match. So, yeah, it's the price wars are never good for the companies. They might be good for consumers in the short term, but not good for the companies. So we'll just
Yeah.
keep an eye on it. But Tesla, man, it always bounces back, whatever happens. So
I
we'll see.
agree, man. I agree. It's always a good one to bounce back. We've seen it happen over and over again. Let's start with our gap up list. We have X here, which is a United States steel here. Can trade very well today. We're up huge, man. 27.9, 3.5 million shares traded. So obviously looking good this morning. One that will probably be in play, probably be on my list. Looks pretty good so far. What's the latest and greatest, Peter, on this one?
Yeah, so some news on X. They had an unsolicited offer from Cleveland Cliffs, which they were, well, oh, our gap up and down lists are shifted there a bit, Carlos. But they
Hmm.
were on the gap down early this morning. They may have dropped off. CLF is that. But they rejected the offer. So Cleveland Cliffs said they were willing to buy out U.S. Steel. I mean, one of the oldest and most storied steel companies in the U.S. I mean, heck, it was Dale Carnegie and who was the other fellow? Anyway, so, I can't remember the other guy's name. Some classic, robber barons, so to speak, of the U.S. industrial area that founded U.S. Steel. But anyways, and it's been around for a long time. Cleveland Cliffs offered to buy them out for 35. J.P. Morgan, thank you. Okay, Cosprey, who, anyways, offered to buy them out for $35 a share. They rejected that offer and said it wasn't good enough for their shareholders. They think they can get more value. So we're seeing X jump up. Obviously, there's a bid on the table essentially at 35, which means there's certainly more room for X to move higher based on that valued offer, even if it wasn't accepted. And CLF, well, their stock is dropping a little bit. Even usually the acquirer drops, but they're the rejected suitor or acquirer in this case. So it's interesting to see their stock move down. But I guess that's just a market saying we're not sure. I guess about the value of the deal to Cleveland Cliffs. It's a big, almost feels like a reverse takeover, doesn't it? I mean, I never thought of Cleveland Cliffs as a bigger company than U.S. Steel, but hey, you know how times change, right? I mean, there's a time when nobody could imagine any tech company bigger than IBM. So, now I'm going back many
Yeah.
decades,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
anyways, but that's the story. So they're in play today, and we can see good volume. Look at the volume. 3.7 million shares. So, normally I would not say X is a good stock and one to play, but I think today, if any day, it's its moment because there's only likely to be other news. Even if there's no news, it's likely to stay in play at least through the open.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I like it this morning quite a bit. It's gonna go on my list here. And in the morning, we don't have a lot going on. This could get a lot of attention. So up nicely here, 28% with some insane volume. So on the list there, this is one that man, every time it comes up, I don't like it. There's nothing clean about it. I dislike the way it trades very much. We're up 4.7 here, 192,000. This is on Man U, Manchester United. So Peter, unless you want to spend time on this, I'm just gonna move right to the next one. But what's the news today? They're up 4%. Not sure if anything's driving this.
I don't know. There's not much news in my point of view. I mean, a signing of a player, okay, cool. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's jumping up, to be honest. I mean, that player signing is good, but they do that type of stuff all the time. I'm not sure that that warrants a change in the stock price. But I don't know. Every once in a while, you're right. This just pops up, and largely, I tend to ignore it because I've tried to watch it. I thought it'd be cool to trade Manchester United. It does not trade very well.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Oh, there you
it's
go.
not a
The
fun.
Stig is saying that the Man U began its campaign in the Premier League. So you know what? So it's probably moving in the UK because that would have interest there if they started playing in the. I thought they already were in the Premier League. Anyways, you mean they just started playing? I guess the season started.
Okay, season. Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no.
But
All right.
still, does that warrant a jump in the stock price? I don't know.
Right, right. Were they expecting them not to start playing? I mean, what's going on here? Oh
Yeah.
man, let's move on. SC here. We are up 4.1, 101,000 shares traded. Another one that doesn't look all that great this morning. So again, just doesn't look good for us to trade. Even their daily looks all over the place. So not interested in that this morning. Man, what a list. Nothing good at the moment. Um Ion Q, Peter, unless you have any news on that one, we'll move to Ion
I
Q.
mean, they had earnings. They
Yeah,
sort of had a mixed report. They beat on revenue, missed on bottom line. But yeah, not whatever. Like you
yeah,
said, not a great trading stock.
yeah, no. All right, so Ion Q this morning, these guys are up 3.1, 525,000 shares traded. It depends. I mean, this is, we've seen some action out of them the last couple of days. They gapped up on Friday pretty big, and they actually had a great trading day on Friday. And you could tell here also, A part of that reason is the insane volume they had because they were in play. Not sure if we're going to get that today, guys. Again, normally they go back to their regular trading volume, which is really low. If you could see here, nothing like we saw on Friday. I'm on the fence on it for a possible second day play. Pre-market actually do have more volume than you usually get, right? 527,000 is more than what they usually see at this time already. So maybe a secondary. We'll have to come back to this. Uh, Peter, I'm not sure if there's anything new. Just riding off of Friday's
No,
action.
just a second day play after earnings on Friday. So, like you said, it's iffy if you want to try and play it. It might be worth keeping an eye on. If you've got nothing else consuming
Hmm.
all of your charts, but otherwise, I'm just gonna wait and see if it jumps on the gappers after the opening bell.
Yeah, we'll put it here on secondary for now. Looking at our gapping down list, we have SBSW, and this is foreign ticker here. Overseas does not trade very well. They've been just getting slammed over the last couple of days, down 6% here this morning, 163,000 shares traded. Again, it just doesn't trade well, doesn't get the volume. It is in play. The stuff is moving here, but again, just not a great trader. Peter, I'm not sure if there's anything else that we can trade aside from this one. This is an oil company, right? It's oil or mining.
It's a gold miner, I think,
Yeah,
South
yeah.
African gold miner.
All right.
I
So,
mean, if you want to play the sector, then you're better off playing something like GLD,
hmm,
which would be an ETF, for the sector.
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't
yeah.
go after this company. It's not. I don't know exactly why it's moving, other than gold commodity prices have dropped a little bit this morning, but it's not. It's not of interest to me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Next, we'll have more interest on this one, Neo. And Neo has seen some really great volume over the last couple of days. We've seen that actually a couple of weeks now, going back to late July. You see the increase right there, very significant. And that has clearly reflected on the price action. I mean, look how clean and beautiful this daily looks compared to what it was doing before, right? Not as nice. So you got a lot of movement happening here. This morning, man, we are down 1.1 million shares traded. We do have shares for short, and we should have plenty. Yes, we do. 10 million shares available with Interactive Brokers. So I really like this stock today. Yeah, I'm gonna add this one to the list, man. Looking good right now. Just riding over on the overall Chinese information that Peter talked about earlier. Just again, a lot of not so great news coming out of the China front. So with that, we also have XPEV. We also have XPEV that's on here. Adicid, Lucid, and Rivian. Some of these are not Chinese tickers, but XPEV is one, which is also down. Not as much volume, 351,000, down 3.7. Could be a good one to watch as well. Maybe I'll put it on here and then we could decide later which one we want to keep on there. I'm just gonna look at what's the other one? Rivian. Rivian is Rivian. Which is Rivian? Chinese? Is Rivian Chinese or no? I
No,
forget.
no, no. They're American.
American. Lucid is Lucid. Chinese. I think Lucid is right. I'm
No,
not sure. Lucid is
Rivian
American
and
too.
Lucid are two of the rare U.S. Based. They're
Okay,
both.
those two are the
Well,
American
Lucid's
ones, right?
California. Rivian, I'm not sure where they're. I would assume they're California based as
Yeah.
well. But
Well, yeah. I think California.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all hit by the same news, basically, right? Like you
Yeah.
notice, like you just went through, right? Neo, XPEV, Tesla, Rivian, Lucid. They're all on the list here today. Um, price wars are never good for the industry, right? They don't want to have to cut their prices because that cuts into their margins. Even while they're ramping, there's been good news because Rivian and Lucid both ramping up production, generally hitting their numbers. So the business is going well, but they just get sucked down when if Tesla's business is believed to be at risk, then that whole sector gets pushed down. I mean, in the North American market, Tesla just is such a dominant factor in the EV space in size and market breadth compared to any other, that they just sort of they get sucked along wherever Tesla goes. Well, that's it. You're on mute there, Carlos.
Sorry about that. I like Neo today. Great volume. I like XPEF, and then like you mentioned, Tesla's going to be one that's also going to be in play. So again, we're very EV heavy here right now, but Tesla is obviously looking good. And then you could decide which ones to watch. Obviously, Rivian is on here. Lucid is on here. You can decide which one of those looks great this morning for you. I'm going to add them on here. Rivian, if I could type that correctly, RIVN, and then we also have Lucid LCID on here. And yeah, again, a little less volume compared to like Tesla and Neo this morning. Even XPEF has decent price action today, but you could pick your favorites out of those. All right. Anything else on this list? Looks like BP, Lucid just keeps going back and forth. Rivian back and forth between 2%. And so BP is the only one that I see here. And this morning they are down 2.1, 110,000 shares traded. Again, not a great trading stock, but energy and all this stuff has been in play lately. So prices have gone wild when it comes to oil and all that. So this could be one to watch, but there's other tickers that probably trade better if you want to trade that overall catalyst and sector. So, um, Peter, anything on your list that you like this morning?
Nothing that we haven't talked about. I'm going to keep an eye on the same old, same old. So AMD, Nvidia, Apple, Tesla. We already talked about Amazon, Meta. Those are my go-tos. Those are what I
Yeah.
typically watch, and then we'll see what jumps up when the scanners, sort of start getting active after the open. And the room is usually good at pointing things out to me. So we'll just wait and see. I may not get an open
Yeah.
trade. I've got a very specific strategy for an open, which nothing is setting up for so far.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What's
Patience.
I forgot Nvidia's ticker. What's Nvidia's ticker? NVD.
DA.
What? Wow.
What the heck? What kind
What
of
the
weekend
heck
did
is
you have,
happening? I had a
Carlos?
great weekend, man. I was not ready to come back today, it looks like. Man, I was actually typing the actual name of the ticker, like with NI. I'm like, what is going on? DA at the end. I'm like, holy smokes. All right, guys. Thumbs up
Wow,
over
don't
on
you?
YouTube if you have an amazing weekend. If you didn't have an amazing weekend, still hit the thumbs up, hoping that we can get a nice week for you this week. Um, but yeah, so all of these men dropping down a little bit here. AMD, Nvidia, a little more aggressive than most. Man, it's not looking so hot for them. I like AMD. I like Nvidia the way they're setting up right now. So let's throw that on there at the moment. And then you mentioned Meta and some other ones, guys. You could pick your favorites out of those. But I really like AMD and Nvidia on this list today. Um, Perfect. Let's take it to the room, guys. What do you guys like so far this morning? What is on your list as far as tickers you're watching today? Tesla just closed the gap. Which gap here? I'm not sure. Oh, this one
Yeah,
here.
maybe
Yes, yeah,
that
yep,
little
yep.
gap there.
Yep, it did. Yeah, it's losing some ground. We have a lot of level of support that we are been getting below here, and now this is the last one that we saw before it's that gap down, right? So we just closed that there. So we'll see. That's 234.93, I believe, right on there. So let's see what Tesla does. Yeah, Tesla's good on my list for sure. And then we have AMC. Yeah, I heard the news on AMC. So they're moving some assets over to. I get that they got they won a court ruling. I didn't know this was going on. But they won a court ruling to use Ape as a move some assets over. I didn't read the whole story. I'm not too interested in it. But that has happened. That's causing Ape and AMC to actually move. Now I don't know how much movement we're gonna have as far as just asset allocation. And I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm not interested in that news. Be careful on how you trade these today. So, but yeah, that's the movement on AMC and Ape. They got some court ruling that favors Ape being used as some kind of information there. All right, Disney. Let's take a look at Disney
It's
here. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Is it? Yeah,
it's
Ape
yeah,
AMC.
yeah,
You got to be careful on that because
yeah.
that's all financial mucketing going on
That's
here with the company.
exactly
Remember
it.
AMC? They created Ape because they said they promised shareholders, the CEO or executive promised shareholders they would not dilute the value of their shares by issuing additional shares when they were going crazy, right? And growing during the time when they were
Yeah,
a meme stock. So instead, they did this little sleight of hand and then started a second ticker called Ape, which to me is just a poke in the eye, right? Like they literally just called everybody apes. Here's stupid apes. Buy this then
yeah,
instead.
yeah,
Um, and now that the moment's passed, they're then trying to roll that back into it, which is basically breaking the promise that was made. So, it's sort of an unprecedented move in both cases, creating a secondary, a debt offering outside of the first, and then trying to roll it back in. So, whatever, right? It's all shenanigans. Does it create trading opportunity? Well, potentially. There's volume in it. I just think it's going to be it's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be tricky to play. I
yeah.
would expect it to be a little jumpy. If you want to play it like a low float, then by all means keep an eye on it. Personally, I mean, unless it really does something interesting and starts to act like a sort of a more stable type stock, I will watch it for entertainment value only.
That's it. Entertainment purposes only, man. I find this to be garbage. Be very careful. I want no parts of it. Again, they're gonna need a lot of Barbie type movies to be able to get AMC back. That's the way it was. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna have those blockbuster hits. People love being home. So I don't know. Good luck to them. All right, what else we have, guys? So that's AMC and A both in play, but be very careful. I think this is not a good catalyst. Disney has been wild, man. Earnings last week, we got a nice little pop there. Sold off, basically gave all of it back, and now we're back to where we've been trading in the past. Just kind of wrapping ourselves around this previous day close line. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to get any more movement. This might go back to its regular trading where it doesn't trade a whole lot until more more news comes out, right? And I know they have a lot of issues going on with their streaming and all that. Until more stuff comes out, I'm not sure we're going to get great movements out of this. So could be a good secondary though, right? Because if you look at it, the last couple of days, you've been getting this really nice days, about $2 or $3 easily, with very light volume. So if that continues, that could be fun. But I just don't know after earnings if you're going to get anything like that this morning or today on Disney. Um, Next we have on deck is Nicholas. You're giving us Baba. Let's take a look at Baba here. Yeah, with the overall Chinese front being, just not getting great news, people not paying their bonds, and real estate being an issue. This can be affected. It's one of the tickers that gets more volume. It is down 1.6 right now. I would think if you heard the news, you would think it would be down more, Peter. Like you think this still be down like 5%, right? But
Yeah.
it's not. It's just 1.6, barely any volume. Um, could be a good possible. There's some potential here as we are continuing to test this level of support that we have here at 94. We'll have to see how it opens up at the market open. So, one of my favorite Chinese tickers to watch. I'll definitely put it on here. Yeah, Nicholas, it's holding well. Some surprising, it's holding well because if you look at the headlines, they're painting a pretty ugly picture. All right, here is Oxy. So yes, Oxy. We haven't seen this in a while. Pre-market action on Oxy can tend to be not great, very light. For example, right now you're not getting a whole lot of volume, and then at the market open, you can start to see the actual movement and if it's really going to be in play. Here's a great example of that on Friday, right? Horrible pre-market action, for what we tend to look for, and had a really nice trading day. Looks like, right? Look at that beautiful breakout. So this is a wait and see type stock. We'll put it on the list, and then at the market open, we'll have to see how it's moving for the day. But again, with energy and oil and everything else going on there, this is one that's back in play for sure. And we should see some movement out of this if things continue the way they are. So thank you, Epi Trader. What else we have, guys? Tesla is good. That is on deck this morning. Over on YouTube, Jason AMC about to use as much as I trust Virgin Galactic. Yeah, hey, Virgin Galactic Space had their travel thing, right? I saw that online. They had their first successful a second ship up to the moon or something like that. I'm not sure if you caught that, Peter. But
Up to the moon. Well, they're
well,
only going
up
for
into
atmosphere,
space
but
and gravity and all this stuff. And I think they had their second flight, which was successful. But looks like the market doesn't care. Nothing has happened here. No movement whatsoever. So
well, I mean, maybe that's the tie why Disney is going because the former Disney executive was up in that ship and decided to take a flight. So, uh, but anyways, I don't know. That
Chad
is,
said, Chad says maybe it's the 450,000 ticket price on that. Yeah, it's a little expensive, slightly. So
look, if you got billions, then who cares, right? So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's. I'm not sure. Yes, they've done now. They're sort of ramping up their flights, starting to get a few more under their belt, which is good. It means I'm all for us figuring out space flight. I think it would be pretty cool. But anyways, from a trading point of view, it really hasn't yielded many opportunities. So
Yeah. So not looking good there. Not much happening. What else, guys? What else, guys? Like this morning, I think we're set. Advance giving us a DKNG. DKNG was in play last week, right? We had their possible competition with ESPN and Penn. If you guys remember that, right? Penn stepping in there, which man, they got good news, and they're lower than where they were before the news even came out. So they gapped up, sold off very aggressively here, maybe an overreaction, and now they're lower than they were better off when they had no news release. So interesting, but yeah, DKNG for the most part. Could be interesting here. Maybe if there's an overreaction on it on the gap down, right? They announced Penn getting into the gambling thing with ESPN, but that could take a while. Usually you announce something. It's like AI, right? You announced it, everybody got excited. Oh, to the moon. And then it's like, okay, how are we going to make money out of it now? Right now, reality starts to kick in. How are we going to make money off this? That could be the situation. Maybe DKNG can have a little bounce back day today.
There's an interesting hit piece that came out this weekend talking about how DKNG and others are taking advantage of these new parlay bets. If you've watched sports broadcast, they're advertising. These online betting companies are advertising like crazy, and they're pushing heavy these parlay bets, which really means that you can just bet on a bunch of things happening at the same time, right? So not only you can bet on the outcome, but who scores the goal or when the goal is scored, and they give you like ultimate flexibility because let's face it, the more specific you make your bet, the less likely it is to happen. So, anyways, I just found it interesting. They're like, oh, they're taking advantage of people. I'm like, do you not know that going into it? Or if you don't, maybe you should be losing your money because it's just. It's designed for you to lose your money. I mean, do we not understand the Vegas model by now? I mean, this is how it works.
Yeah, yeah. It, it
Anyways,
it it really is, man.
I
Um,
find it I
all
find
right.
it amusing myself, but of course, I was raised in a household. My dad worked for Statistics Canada for many years, and like I probably have said before, he used to call lotteries taxes on the mathematically disinclined. So, and every time I buy a lottery ticket, I think of that. But I still buy them because sometimes it's worth paying a couple of bucks just to dream for a while. In fact, I
Yeah,
don't even
yeah.
check my lottery tickets until a few days before they expire, just so I can I could have $100 million sitting there waiting for me right now. For all I know, I got tickets that are almost a year old, but I realize that it's sort of a fool's errand to think you're going to win anything significantly. So,
It's a tough,
anyways.
tough, tough one for sure. Blake is saying parlays are the low floats of gambling. Look at that. It's a great way to put it. Risky, risky. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I think we're set. We have a pretty decent list here. Led by the EVs. We have X Neo, XBEV. We have Tesla here, AMD, Nvidia, which again are moving pretty nice towards the downside this morning. And we got a bunch of possibles, also including some EVs in here, some stuff that was in play last week, like Disney, that are possibly a second day play, and DKNG. So not a bad list, not a blockbuster one, that's for sure. But hopefully things will get better as we get closer to the market open. With that, let's head over to our community events and announcements and see what's coming up for this week. And then we'll come back and fine tune this list further.
Well, we essentially had a blockbuster weekend here at Bearable Traders and Peak Capital Trading. There was a flurry of signups this weekend, and the Peak Capital Bootcamp that we've been talking about is already sold out. So we've pretty much have sold all of the spots. We have one or two people who are waiting for confirmation. If they do not confirm their spot, there may be a place available. But yeah, record sort of signups and record time. It's a great camp. It's really good if you want to accelerate your trading journey. Now, just because this camp is sold out, you can always put your name down for the next one if you're interested. Sometimes people like time to prepare, and I actually decided to go for the next camp, which would be, by the way, January 2024. It is almost a 3-month long camp, so you get a lot of focused activity, a lot of sort of detailed trading insights, and we take it over a period of time. In this camp, we're doing something a little different where we're actually giving you the opportunity to trade a funded account if you want and share in the profits. So that's part of the boot camp. But like I said, I think we're sold out for this camp starting in September. So take a look at the website if you want to get information. I said you can always sign up for the next one if you're interested, which will be January 2024. But this camp currently sold out. So let's turn our focus to Bear Bull Traders, because we have a lot going on this week that you should know about. This week, like every week, we have a full slate of activity starting tonight with the onboarding class. Megan and that guy, Mike, will take you through onboarding details about how to get set up and leverage all that the Bear Bull community has for you, as well as some basics on trading. That's at 8 o'clock in the onboarding room. Hopefully you'll join them there. Tomorrow night, we do our continuing strategy and trade book series, and Andrew is going to be himself presenting his two most important trading strategies. That's at 8 o'clock tomorrow night in the webinar room. Hopefully, you'll join him there for that. And then the week after, we have guest speakers from Bellevue Rush. They're going to talk taxes and talk about how you can sort of manage your tax scenario a little more efficiently. We had them present in New York, and they're back to talk about this for our community. Feel free to ask some questions, dig in deep, understand what they have to say, and whether it potentially is applicable for you. That will be next Tuesday. I can't believe next Tuesday is the 22nd of August, but there you have it. Also at 8 p.m. All these sessions, by the way, are recorded and posted into our education center if you can't make them live. Wednesday, we'll be talking psychology as we always do. And this Wednesday, we have a special guest. Wesley Altman is going to be with us, 8 o'clock on the 16th of August, talking about his journey to mental resilience and how you can leverage those lessons for your own trading. The week after, on the 23rd, Randy Howell will be back with us, asking you the question, what holds you back from trading success, and giving you some hints and tricks on how to overcome anything that may be blocking your path to success. Thursdays is mentorship, and this Thursday, like most Thursdays, we have 3 sessions now. Used to be 2, we've now added 1, so keep that in mind. 3 sessions. John kicks it off at 11 a.m. In the mentorship or in the webinar room. Then Jared and Megan come in and talk about options at 2 o'clock. And then Thor rounds out the day with an 8 p.m. session back on equities. So whether you want to talk options or equities, we've got the session for you. Speaking of options, by the way, it is Monday, which means Jared and Megan will be in the main chat room at noon to talk options with you. So 12 o'clock today, main room, be there. Megan and Jared will be talking your ear off on anything you want to hear about options. And hey, don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Even if you're saying, what exactly is an option, to I'm using the reverse double duck down triple butt kisser strategy, and I want to know, should I use a high theta or should I use my gamma rays? Then you can ask them that question and they'll be able to answer you intelligently. All right. It's a great strategy. Absolutely. Anyways, all right. If you want to join us in the Bear Bull Trading Room, we have a number of, I did say gamma rays, Thor. Yes. Hulk out. Anyways, if you want to join us in the Bear Bulls Trading Room, we have a number of membership options for you. Everything from the intro offer, which you can get discounted by listening right here, using the code PREMARKET24 for a $24 discounted rate on the 1-week trial. Or you can use our basic or elite monthly all the way up to the elite annual, which is the best deal. So take a look at whatever option is good for you. Sign up, and we promise we don't market the heck out of you. We won't force you to auto renew. It's your choice. You just join for as long as you want. We're convinced you will love the community and want to be part of it long term. But if it's not, then we understand, and we wish you well. So, all right. With that, let's set some levels. We'll get ready for the day. We got some time because it's fairly late morning, so we'll see what happens. And if something interesting comes up, we got time to talk about it. Jason, yes, it's a great strategy. Very classic. So
I like the butterfly combo myself. So that's actually pretty good. The other ones I'm not too sure about. So yeah, guys, a lot of interesting stuff there. Tons of material on this, by the way, in our education center, right? So you have access to some videos that Megan and Jared have put together, So look at those to kind of understand a little bit of the basics when it comes to trading options. Also, we forgot to mention the boot camp, guys. If you guys join now, for example, there's a lot of. I just want to go back to real quick because we are ahead of time, so I want to cover this part here. If we go back to this, there is some pre boot camp stuff that can be done, right? So if you sign up now, let's say for the one in January, there is some work that you can do up front to kind of get ahead of the game. Plus, you immediately get access to our education center, right? So you can start putting some work in because again, as you mentioned all the time, Peter, this is very intense, right? There is a lot going
It
on
is.
here. So if you can get ahead of it, you'll be better off and more prepared when it comes time to, really start cranking things up with the coaches there. So take advantage of that. All right, with that, let's take a look at our list here, guys. We'll start with making some levels. We have X, we have Neo, we have XPEV, Tesla also looking very good this morning. 3 million shares already on here. We have AMD and we have NVIDIA. Then we got some secondary stuff. We're going to do levels for our main ones and we'll look at our secondary, see if anything's moving there. And if we have anything we want to look at, I see but Schultz is giving us PayPal. Once we do levels, we can look at any tickers you might have there for us to take care of. So let's start with XPEV this morning. High of the pre-market, we are looking at a 29.96. So we'll slam a level there. And then towards the bottom, we are looking at the low of the pre-market over at a 24.89. And in between here, right, you're seeing some areas of support and resistance. Like, for example, right here, this 28.58. You got a lot of support happening there. Little resistance as well here very early on this morning. So I want to have that down on our list there in case that's going to be some support and resistance area on there. Heading down to Neo today, let's take a look at Neo. So Neo this morning, we are looking at low of the pre-market 12.37. Again, a lot of weakness here on the EVs and weakness also on certain Chinese tickers. Our economy is not doing well over there. 11.90 as well, a low on the daily here, good area. And then we have a good area of support. I'm sorry, resistance that can be support now at 11.23. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows for the last two trading days. This reminds me of old school Neo, guys. Great volume, good pre-market action, and
Old
we've
school.
seen it. Yeah, exactly. And we've seen some good action on this since the 24th. Very big difference in volume. Look at that there. Doing more, almost more about half than what it was doing for in the past on the daily. Doing that, and you can see here that is reflecting on the daily, as we mentioned earlier. So, like Neo today, tons of shares for sure as well. Here is XPEV. XPEV is a little tricky. I mean, we got volume, we got the news out. Volkswagen, if you guys remember that has kind of been played out already, and then we've seen just a decrease in volume and really not that whole much type of movement. So I have it on here on the fence on this one. We'll be ready with levels, but we have some others we can look at, Rivian, Lucid, that got slightly better volume. That might be a good fit if XPET doesn't give us what we need here. Towards the bottom, we're looking at 15 at 35. Good level there. Another level at 14.61. Love the pre-market this morning. Going to slam a level over at 15.65. As you guys slam that thumbs up over on YouTube right now, sitting at 85 likes. We'd love to be at 145. That is our magic number there. So if you could help us, your support is greatly appreciated. So news here. PayPal CEO news. What we got going on? Anything happening there, Peter? While you look
Well, I
that
don't
up, I'll
know.
look
Let's
at
see.
yeah. While you look that up, I'll look at Tesla. We'll do levels and we'll see what's happening with PayPal because I see a lot of you guys throwing PayPal out. We'll look at that in a second. Low of the pre-market on Tesla, 235.03. High of the pre-market looking at 240.70. Towards the top, plenty of levels, highs and lows of the last two trading days, previous day close. That all got you covered there. Can't wait to hear that. And then towards the bottom, below the low of the pre-market, we're looking at a 224.51 area here. And then also down here, another great level at 212.27. All right, let's take a look at
Yeah.
PayPal. What's happening
Yeah,
there?
apparently they just announced. So they've been on the hunt for a new CEO. Apparently they named Alex Chris, who was with Intuit before, who is the new CEO. Don't know Alex, but apparently some people are pretty excited and think it's going to be a good thing. So I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I think it gets a little overblown on the impact the executives have on the company. Frankly, the executive team is more important, but we always tend to focus on the person at the top. So, anyways, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're in like the Elon world type of executives, it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, it's reacting here.
And that's, yeah, that's rare because that's more like executive owner, right, than it is an
Yeah,
actual hired CEO. Hired CEOs have much less freedom to do the type of stuff that an Elon does. If a
right.
hired CEO did anything a third of what Elon did, they would be sacked so hard by the board. It would, and so quickly, right? Like, don't kid
Absolutely.
yourself. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what happened, but Elon gets away
You
with
don't
it
have that
because
freedom. Yeah, yeah.
you can't fire him.
Now this is popping up here, guys. 2.2, 650,000. We'll look at it in a few minutes. Let's see if we're getting an overreaction here. Again, this catalyst usually doesn't do a whole lot, but it also depends how bad was the other guy. Like if the other guy was really bad, or person or woman or whatever, then you can have a nice reaction. Like that sucks, right? They let you go and this thing takes off. Shows you how people feel about you. But yeah, let's come back and look at this in a few minutes here. All right, so Tesla is good. Let's look at AMD this morning. So AMD again, AMD and Nvidia both dropping here with some decent volume, 445 and Nvidia 593. So we got some action there. Looking at both of them, they both look great. You can have either one on your list. The last couple of days giving you some really good highs and lows of the pre-market there. Got you covered towards the top. I'm just gonna add 111.50 because if you look at this high from 2 days ago, this would have been Thursday. It's all the way at 114, right? And we have a nice area here at 115, just in case we do decide to bounce back. Right now, man, just showing a lot of weakness every day here. Red, 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 red. Even the gap ups turn into red days. So again, not fun for AMD. Low of the pre-market, pretty much slightly above the low from Friday. Right on there, we'll do 106.60. And if we head to the left here, we're just getting to this area around 103.57, a great level there. Another one over at 99.97. So again, a lot of these companies, if you look at it, we had the nice run back in, it was in May. And then now we just kind of went sideways here a little bit for the last couple of months. Now we're getting towards this area where we're starting to dip into the May numbers. So has not been good. Nvidia, very similar. Nvidia had a bigger pop, obviously, but very similar here, coming back down to some numbers here as well. Love the pre-market on Nvidia at the moment is being set. I'm going to mark 504.54. I think the low of the pre-market is going to go a little bit lower, but I'm going to mark this area based on the daily here, right? So this is a daily level. We have tons of support happening there, and we'll wait to see what the pre-market low ends to be. And then towards the bottom, we do have a level here at 401.27. In case we do decide to flush, let's mark down 393 and another nice level here at 383. I think that'll be a push, but the way this things have been moving lately will not shock us at all. So towards the top, guys, highs and lows of the last two trading days on Nvidia. I am going to mark down 411.50, which is a high of the pre-market at the moment for Nvidia this morning. All right, there we have it, guys. That is our list. We have X, we have Neo, we have XPEV, we have Tesla, we have AMD, and Nvidia. I see our moderates list is coming together. We have Thor, we have Susan. We'll wait for some other ones to populate there shortly, and then we'll be heading it off to Andrew and Brian, who are going to be trading live this morning. Friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube, sitting at 104, almost there, looking for 50 more or so to get us to that magic number. So appreciate your help. PayPal was sure to thank you for giving us that over on YouTube. Triple D X has a nice gap up today. Yes, it does. Nice pop here, and this could be good for a sell down, right? If it wants to slam down right back to 25, if it's an overreaction, that could be good. If it's going to be really strong an hour and a half in, you will know that, and then you start seeing this breaking new highs. But stocks tend typically to come back to where they were trading at, right? So be on the lookout for some short opportunities there if they set up properly. Let's see here. What else we got going on? What else you guys like this morning? Peter, anything else that's popping up on your radar that you like?
Nothing at all. No.
Okay. All right. All right, friends, let's take a look at our moderators list. I'm gonna bring this over. Let's see here. We'll head here and we'll bring our list over. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, let's look at our moderators. Let's start with Thor. Thor's looking at Tesla overall futures there. Susan looking at Tesla, MU, Amazon, secondary list, Rivian and Lucid. Megan, you'll be looking at the overall market, S&P 500 and Amazon this morning. Here's Brian, the man of the hour, PayPal, X, Tesla, Nvidia, IonQ for Brian this morning. So there you have it, friends. Peter, you'll be looking at AMD, Apple, Tesla, PayPal, secondary list, Rivian, and Amazon for you, and no IPOs, no SPACs for this morning. By the way, the app, the chat room has a great features. I like the app because sometimes when you're posting your something and I'm away from the chat room, the app will actually send the alert, which is really nice. So if you guys haven't downloaded the app, there should be a link somewhere there. Let me see if I can show this to you guys. But you get this nice alerts when the moderator sends something. I'm not sure if it's going to focus in. It might not. But it's pretty neat. So yeah, download the app for the chat room. Really nice. Great features on this new chat room that we have here. All right. Oh, Jared. Let's look like Jared. Jared's looking at Tesla, X, PayPal, secondary list, Apple for market direction, and Nvidia for there we go. Condor management. So there's a nice options strategy there. Um, so the app, how do you down if you come up here to download the app for those that don't know, you come up here and you click on launch mobile app. See, it's right next to this menu. If you click on that, it'll give you the link to your download. And I think I should show everyone my pin, so I'm gonna have to change that now. But it'll give you the download area here, and then you'll be able to download. Then you put in your pin number, and you should be able to get access to this. And what it'll do is it'll the alerts. You can one look at the chat, which is nice, and you can also get alerts if anything is posted by the moderators. If Andrew gets in the trade, he'll post it here. Hey, I'm in on this, and then you're able to see and follow if you're away from your computer. Yeah, no, definitely check it out. It's a good one. Okay, anything else, guys? Peter, anything else that we might have missed?
Nope, I think we're good to go.
All right, excellent, guys. Stay tuned for trading live with Andrew and Brian up next, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing trading day. Take care, guys.
Take care, everybody. Trade smart.